Hello students, I am Professor Priyanka Tanavade from Computer Engineering Department. In this lecture we will study the graph data structure. We will cover whole graph in this one video. So let's start with introduction. In this graph chapter we will see the introduction, graph terminology, then representation of graph traversing. In that we will study the depth first search and brief first search. After that we will study the graph application. In that topological sorting we will study. Okay, now let's start with what is graph. What is the definition of graph? It is basically a collection of vertices. In other words, we can say that nodes, collection of nodes and edges. In this example, here we have A, B, C, D, E are the nodes or vertices, and to connect these nodes we have edges. This is A to B edge, this edge is a B to C edge, this edge is a B to D edge. These are the edges. So basically graph is a collection of nodes and nodes or vertices and edges. A graph is often viewed as a generalized of a tree structure where instead of having a purely parent-child relationship between the nodes, have complex relationship in graphs. Okay, in graphs we a graph may contain cycle or may not, but in tree it is a cycleless, means a graph which is without cycle. We can say that tree is a graph without cycle. Cycle means closed paths. Here A to B, B to D, D to A. By these edges we have here closed path. Also we have here closed path. So we can say here cycle is created. Also if C to C edge is there, then also the cycle is present. So in tree there is no cycle, and in graph cycle exit or may not exit. Basically graph is a collection of vertex and edges. Now see the definition. Here graph G is defined as a ordered vertex or ordered set of V and E. V is a set of vertex and E is a set of edge, where V of G represent a set of vertices and E of G represent the edges that connect these vertices. In this figure we have V of G, A, B, C, D, E vertex. Here V of G contain A, B, C, D, E vertex, and E of G means edge set of graph G is A to B edge, then B to C edge, A to D edge, then B to D edge, D to E edge, E to C edge. Okay, these are the sets of edge, that is E of G. Here you can understand, here we have 5 vertex, and to connect that we need the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edge. Here 5 vertex and 6 edge, means V plus 1 edge is required. Okay, or if n vertex is there, then to connect that n vertex we require n plus 1 edge. Now there are mainly two types of graph, directed graph and undirected graph. Here you can see this is a undirected graph and this is directed. We have direction A to B, then B to D. Okay, this is undirected graph and this is a directed graph. Now, graph can be a directed or undirected. In an undirected graph, edges do not have any direction associated with them. In that case, we can travel A to B, also B to A. Means both direction we are considering if the undirected graph is given. But in directed graph, we have specific direction mentioned, so we have to consider A to B only. Here B to A traversing is not possible. This is the difference. Now, look at the figure this 13.2, which shows the directed graph. In the directed graph, edge from an ordered pair, if there is an edge from A to B, that is A to B, then there is a path from A to B but not from B to A. Here A to B path is there, so B to A is not available. But in this case we have A to B path, also B to A. We can travel A to B and B to A also. Now, graph terminology. Adjacent node or neighbor node. For every edge E, U, V that connect the node U and V, the node U, V are the end point and are said to be adjacent node or neighbors. Means neighboring nodes means we have edge between that node. Suppose edge U to V is present, then U and V are the neighboring node. Now next is the degree of a node. Degree of a node U, we can say that dg in bracket U, degree of U, is a total number of edges containing the node U. Degree of node means total number of edges contained in that U. In this degree of node we have in degree and out degree. Okay, in degree means the edge come to in directed graph we are considering that edge coming towards that node is a in degree of that node, and edge going out of that node are the out degree of the number of edges that going out from that node is the out degree of that node. This is in degree and out degree concept. Now if dg means degree of U is a 0, it means U does not belong to any edge and such node is known as an isolated node, means only single node, there is not edge present to connect other node, so this is an isolated node. Now regular graph, it is a graph where each vertex has a same number of neighbors. In regular graph we have same number of neighbors, that is every node at the same degree, means here same degree nodes. A regular graph with a vertex of degree k is called as a k regular graph. Okay, suppose degree is 1, then we can say that 1 regular graph. If our degree is 2, then we can say that 2 regular graph. Okay, we will see that in next slide. Path, a path P written as a P set U V of 0, V1, that V2 up to Vn. That is a vertex 0, vertex 1, vertex 2 up to vertex n of a length n from the vertex U to vertex or node we can say U to V is defined as a sequence of n plus 1 nodes. Here U equal to V0, V equal to Vn. It is a V0 is the first and Vn is the last node, in other words we can say, and Vi minus 1 is adjacent to the Vi for I 1, 2, 3 up to n. Now, here we have regular graph example. These are the isolated nodes, means node not having any edge to connect other nodes, so these are the isolated. For that isolated nodes we can say that it has 0 regular graph. These are the 0 regular graph, means k value is a 0, no 0 degree. For that we say that 0 regular graph. Now here we have single edge to connect this. This is a 1 degree, so 1 regular graph. Here each node having single edge, so 1 regular graph. Here we have 2, edges. That is, for this node we have this one edge and this second edge. For this we have this one and that one. For this node we have this edge and that edge. For this also we have two. Also this for we have two, and this we have two edges. So this is a two regular graph. These are the regular graphs. Your k value is a 2. In this example, k value is a 1. And in this example, because there is no edge, so k value is a 0. Now, next terminology is a closed path. A path P is known as a closed path if the edge has the same endpoint. Means suppose edge is starting from this node and coming toward this node only. Means one starting point and the initiate point and terminate point is the same, then we can say that is a closed path. Okay, means cycle. That is, if v0 and vn is the same node. Simple path. A path P is known as a simple path if all the nodes in the path are distinct, with an exception that v0 may be equal to vn. If v0 equal to vn, then a path is called as a closed simple path. Here simple path means if all the nodes in the path are distinct, with an except that v0 may be equal to vn. Now cycle. A path in which the first and the last vertices are same. Okay, this is cycle. And closed path means this is closed. Starting point, node and ending point is the same, then is a cycle. And this is closed path. Here suppose we start from this, we reach at this, then after that we get this edge, so we reach here, and after this is means starting and ending is same. Here close path. And in cycle we have first and last vertex are same. A simple cycle has no repeated edge or vertex except the first and the last. Cycle, a path in which the first and the last vertex are the same. Here, so this is a cycle. Here we, okay, and in closed path, if P is a path P is known as a closed path if the edge has the same endpoints, starting and ending same endpoints, then it is a closed path. Then connected graph. A graph is said to be connected if for any two vertices UV in a V, that is a vertex set, there is a path from U to V. That is to say that there are no isolated nodes in the connected graph. Okay, here no isolated node in a connected graph. A connected graph that does not have any cycle is called the tree. Tree is a connected graph where cycle is not present. Therefore, a tree is a special graph. Now, complete graph. A graph G is said to be complete if all its nodes are fully connected. In complete graph, here all the nodes are fully connected. If we have to we have to show that this is a complete graph, then we have to connect these nodes using edge, also this, that node also, and this. So that's then we can say that this is complete graph. Means complete if all its nodes are fully connected, then we can say that that is a complete graph. Then click. In an undirected graph G, V, E. V is a set of vertex and E is a set of edges. The clique is a subset of a vertex of C such that every two vertices in a C there is an edge that connect the two vertices. Next is a label graph or weighted graph. A graph is said to be labeled if every edge in the graph is associated some data. Means here you can say A to B edge we have even data. So we can say that here label is a even. Value for that A to B traversing is a even. Now a graph is said to be labeled if every edge in a graph is associated some data. In weighted graph, the edges of the graph are assigned some weight, or we can say cost or length. Then here we have weighted graph. Here A to B path is there and we have cost 3. Here weight to A to B is a 3. This is a weighted graph. We have value for or label for that edge. This is cost to travel from this node to this node. Here to travel from B node to D we have weight 7. This is what weighted graph. Here we have tree. Tree means there is no cycle present in that graph. Now next is a multiple edge. Distinct edges which connect the same end points are called a multi-edge. Okay, distinct edges connect from the same end point is a multi-edge. That is E means edge E from U to V and E dash from U to V. Here nodes are the same, that is U to V, and here two edges known as a multi-edge of G. Loop and edge that has an identical endpoint is called the loop. Loop means edge that has an identical endpoints is called a loop. That is E means edge E to U means here starting, that is initiated edge and initiated node and the terminated node is the same, E to E, that is a loop. Here we have B to B edge, E for edge is a B to B, so here loop is present. The multi-graph, a graph with a multiple edges and or loop is called a multigraph. In figure this we have multigraph. Then size of graph. A size of graph is the total number of edges in that graph. Here size of graph is not the vertex but the number of edges present and present in that particular graph. Here for this we have E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6. Here we have 6 edge. So size of this graph is a 6. That is a total number of edges in it. Now next is a representation of the graph. There are 3 common ways to represent or to store graph in a computer memory. The spatial representation or sequential representation by using the adjacency matrix. Then next is a link representation by using an adjacency list that store the neighbors of the node using the linked list. First we have adjacency matrix and second adjacency list. Now third is the adjacency multi-list, which is the extension of the link representation. There are 3 methods or 3 ways to store the graph in computer memory. First is the adjacency matrix, second is using the adjacency list, and third is the adjacency multi-list. Let's study in detail. Now adjacency matrix representation. Adjacency matrix is used to represent which nodes are adjacent to one another. Here as a name suggests adjacent. Here it is represent the adjacent nodes. By defining 2 nodes are said to be adjacent if there is an edge connecting them. If node B to C, suppose node B and C is there, if there is an edge from B to C, then we can say that B and C are the adjacent. In directed graph G, if node V is adjacent to node U, then there is definitely an edge from U to V. That is, if U is adjacent to V is adjacent to U, we can get from U to V by traversing one edge. For any graph G having n nodes, the adjacency matrix will have the dimension of n into n. Now, in an adjacency matrix, the rows and the columns are the label by the graph vertex. An entry Aij in adjacency matrix will contain 1 if vertex Vi and Vj are adjacent to each other. Means vertex Vi and Vj are adjacent, then only it will consist 1. Otherwise, it will consist 0. If edge is present, then 1. Otherwise, 0. Now consider these examples. Here directed graph. Here we have A to B edge. Okay, but B to A is not present. These are the vertices. Okay, these are the vertices. This is the initiate vertex and columns represent the terminate vertex. Here A to A, we not having any edge or loop A to A, so we have to put here 0. Now check B to D. We have edge B to D. So A to B we have edge. So here we put 1. Now A to C. We not having direct edge A to C. So 0 here. We have to mention 0. If direct edge is there, then we have to mention that 1 in that place. Otherwise 0. Now A to D. A to D we have edge here. A to D. So here 1. Now A to E. Here not having edge. So 0. Now B to A not having because direction. Then B to B no. B to D we have only. So B to D 1, all other 0. Now consider C. C to B we have edge. So C to B 1, others are 0. Now D. D to E having. We have edge D to E. So D to E here we have to put 1. Others are 0. Now E to C edge is there. Others are not. So E to C we have to put here 1. Others are 0. This is directed. And in undirected we have to consider both directions. That is A to B and B to A. Here we are considering this A to A is not. A to A cycle is not. Loop is not. So A to B here we have. So 1. Then A to C not direct. So 0. A to D we have. So 1. Then A to E not. So 0. Now B to A we have H. Then B to D we have. And B to C. So B to A, B to D, B to A1, B to C1 and B to D1. Others are 0. So we have to complete this like this. We have edges. If edge is there, then put 1. Otherwise 0. In undirected, we have to consider both directions. If edge is there, then we have B to C and C to B also. Now consider this graph. That is directed graph with loop. Here we have loop. So for this B to B edge is there. Here B to B1. Remaining concept is same. Here A to B edge is there but B to A is not. So A to B we have 1 but B to A is not. So 0. Others are same. Like this. For here B to C is there and B to B is there. So B to C and B to B 1. Then B to D is there. So B to D is 1. Others is 0. For this C to D is there. So C to D. C to D is 1. And C to A. So C to A1. Others are 0. Like this you have to fill. Then weighted graph. Here difference is in this all case we put 1. But in weighted graph we have to put cost or weight for that edge. So here A to B edge is there. So A to B we have to put here 4. That is the cost of that edge. Now C to B is there. C to B we have to put 5 because C to B cost is 5. Like this we have to fill. Now, next is the adjacency list representation. And adjacency list is another way in which the graph can be represented in computer memory. This structure consists of the list of all the nodes in G. Okay, in this structure we considering list of all the nodes in graph G. Furthermore, every node in it turn like to its own list that contain the names of all other nodes that are adjacent to it. Means list consists the nodes which is adjacent to that particular node. The key advantages of using an adjacency list are the easy to follow and clearly shown the adjacent node of the particular node. Then it is often to use for storing graph that have the small to moderate number of edges. That is, an adjacency list is a prefer for the representing sparse graph in the computer memory. Otherwise, an adjacency matrix is a good choice. Now consider adjacency list for this graph. Here we consider A. These are the vertex A, B, C, D, and this is list, adjacency list. This A having adjacent node B and C. So here B and C and not further any. So here this is last node. Now for B we have B2, C and B2, D. H. So in B list we have C and D. And this is last one. So we nullify this. And this we put here cross null. Then C, for C we have only neighboring node D. So in this C we have D. And this one is last. So here null. Now consider D. Here we have D to A path. So and D to B path. So two nodes, D to A and B. And this is last node. So here null. Now consider this undirected graph. For undirected we have to consider both direction. For A we have B and A we have D. So A, B and D node is there. Now consider B. We have A, C and D. So here B list having A node, C node and D node. Likewise we have to consider these nodes. For D we have A, B and E. So we put here A, B and C node, E nodes. Okay. This is about undirected graph adjacency list. Now for weighted graph we have to add data field. There is a weight for that particular nodes. Remaining concept is the same. Now third way to represent the graph is or to store the graph is the adjacency multi-list representation. The graph can be represented using the multi-list, which can be said to modify version of the adjacency list. Okay, multi-list representation is a modified version of adjacency list. Adjacency multi-list is an edge-based rather than vertex-based. A multi-list represent basically consists of the two parts. Here we have two parts. First is a directory of the nodes information and second is a set of linked lists storing the information of edges. Here we have two parts. First is a directory of nodes information, directory of nodes, and second is a edge information. While there is a single entry for each node in a node entry or node directory and for every node, but in edge list we have more than one entry for a particular node. Now here we have VI, that is vertex. V is for vertex and I is for this edge. VI, a vertex in a graph that is connected to Vj. If Vi, then it is a vertex connected to Vj by an edge. Then Vj, a vertex in a graph that is connected to Vi. Now link I, for Vi, a link that point to another node that has an edge incident on Vi. If link I is there for Vi, then it has link to Vi to another node. If link J for Vi, then link from Vi to another node. Then we can say that link J is present. Now consider E1, that is edge 1. We have starting node 0 and end one node is 0 and another is a 1. That is it. So here we put 0 and 1. Now connected edges for this 0 is E1 and E2. So here edge 2 and okay, for this edge 1 E1 we have this edge and that is a edge 2 and new edge is a edge 3. Then edge 2 we have starting node 0 and 2. Nodes for E2 is a 0 and 2. Here 0 and 2. Now here we already consider E1. So another one is a E4. We have from this to E4. So edge 4. Then edge 3. Here for edge 3 we have 1 and there is a vertex 1 and vertex 3. So here E1 is already considered. This one is already considered. There is a E4. Okay, we have to consider next one. 1, 2, 3. It is a null and edge 4. Then edge 4 we have to consider now. Edge 4 we have 2 and 3 vertex. That is a V2 and V3. And here we already consider null and next is a E5. So H5. Now to reach H5 we have vertex 3 and vertex 4. So 3 and 4 and we already consider the remaining one. So we move to H6. Next is the H6. Now H6. To H6 we have vertex 4 and vertex 5. So 4 and 5. Now next is a H7 and after that null. Okay, we already visit this. So H7. Here we have edge 7. To that nodes are 4 and 6. So 4, 6 and there is no another edge. So null and null. This is a multi-list. Using the adjacency multi-list given this, the adjacency list for the vertex can be constructed as shown. Here vertex 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the vertices 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then for 0 we have edge set. There is a E1 and E2. For 1 we have E1 and E3. Then for 3 we have E2 and E4. Then for this we have 4, we have 7 and 6 and this 5. These are the list. Now important part of the graph is the graph traversing algorithms. We have two algorithms. First is a breadth first search and second is a depth first search. We will see that in detail. While the breadth first search uses the queue as an auxiliary data structure to store the nodes for further processing. Here breadth first search uses the queue. Queue is a last in last out, first in first out structure. And for the depth first search we are using the stack, that is a last in first out structure. Now consider the breadth first search algorithm. Breadth first search is the graph search algorithm that begin at the root node and explore all the neighbors of the node. In breadth first search we will traverse level wise. First we will visit the level 0, that is a process the level 0, that is a root node. Then after that we will move to level next, that is a level 1. We completely visit all the nodes which are present at the level 1, and after that we will move for the level next, that is a level 2, and so on. Here we are completing level wise, we are processing level wise. So this is a complete algorithm. If our target element is there, then we will 100% we will find that. So here no skip is there, complete algorithm is there, complete searching is there. Then for each of this nearest node, means first we complete route, then after explore its neighbor, and after exploring that, then for each those nearest node, the algorithm explore their unexplored neighbors nodes, and so on until they find the goal. Okay, here we are first exploring the route, means processing the route. After that we process neighbors of the route. After processing that, we will process the neighbors of neighbor. Okay, till we find the until we find the goal. Now algorithm for this is: step 1, set status 1, that is a ready state for each node in G. First we have to set status 1, that is a ready state for each node in a graph G. Then step 2, enqueue the starting node A and set its status to 2. Here first enqueue the, here we are using queue structure. So what? First in first out. So we considering the first, we processing the first nodes. So enqueue the starting node A and set the status 2, that is a waiting state. Then step 3, repeat the step 4 and 5 until queue is empty. Now step 4 is dequeue a node N, process it and set its status 3. 3 is for processed node, 1 is for ready state, second is for that is a 2 is for waiting state, and third 3 is a for processed state. Then step 5, enqueue all the neighbors of the N that are in the ready state and whose status is 1. Okay, here enqueue all the neighbors whose status is 1 and set their status 2, that is a waiting state, and continue. Here loop is ending. Means here we are considering first all set all the nodes one status, then to first we have to put root one, root status is 2, then process that, and we are processing neighbors of it by putting their status 2, and after processing that we are giving status 3. Okay. Now let's consider the features of the breadth first search. The space complexity for the breadth first search is a order of BD. There is B for branching factor, and D is for depth. Now, if the number of vertices and edges in the graph are known ahead of time, the space complexity can be expressed as a big O of number of E and plus number of V, that is a number of edges plus number of V, that is a set of V, means a number of vertices in V, where the set of or mod of E means of edge set is a total number of edge in G, and mod of V is a number of nodes in that particular graph. Then time complexity, we have order of E plus V. In worst case, breadth first search has the traverse through all the path to all possible nodes. Thus, the time complexity of this algorithm asymptotically approach is same. That is as a space complexity OBD. That is a big O of BD, branch factor into depth. However, the time complexity can be expressed as a O mod of E plus mod of V. Such since every vertex and every edge will explore in the worst case. Then completeness. Breadth first search is said to be complete because if there is a solution, if there target element is present, then breadth first search will find it regardless of the kind of means it will find. If the element is present, then it will surely find. It's complete algorithm. Okay, but in case of an infinite graph where there is no possible solution, it will traverse. Optimization. Optimality. Brief first search is the optimal algorithm. Now, depth first search algorithm. Depth first search begins at the starting node A, which becomes the current node, and then it examines each node N along a path P, which begins at A. This is going to the depth of the nodes, depth of the tree or depth of the graph, and after that it will backtrack. Okay, first it starts from A, that is suppose it is a current node, root node. Then it examine each node N along a path P which begin at A. That is, we process the neighbors of A, then the neighbors of A, and so on. During a execution of the algorithm, if we reach a path that has a node N that has already been processed, then we backtrack to current node. Otherwise, the unvisited, that is unprocessed node becomes the current node. Okay, here we are considering first root, then neighbor of it, and then we process the neighbor of its neighbor until left node. Okay, and after that we backtrack and move for the next node of that node, and come and so on. Okay, in brief first search we are completing level wise. We process nodes level wise. First we complete level 0, then after completing that we will move for level 1 and completing that level nodes, and after that we will move for next level nodes and completing all nodes present at that level, and so on. But here we are first completing root, then after that we will find its neighbor, and we are going for its neighbor's neighbor, and we are moving to depth, and after going to left node we are backtracking the node. Okay, this is what depth first search. Then consider this algorithm. Step 1 is a set status 1, that is a ready state for each node in a G, same as before. Then step 2 is a push the starting node A on a stack and set its status to waiting state. Now repeat the step 4 and 5 until stack is empty. Here we are using step because we have to process last node, means in stack we are considering the last, we are processing top node, means last in first out. Step 4 is a pop the top node and process it, and it status 3, means after processing we have to update status to 3. Push second step is a push on the stack all the neighbors of N that are in the ready state whose status is 1, and set their status to 2, that is a waiting state, and end the loop, exit. Now consider the features of the depth first search algorithm. Space complexity. The space complexity of a depth first search is lower than the breadth first search. We have breadth first search order of BD, branch factor into depth. Then time complexity. Time complexity of the depth first search is proportional to the number of vertices plus number of edges in the graph that are traversed. Like the same, means big O of mod of V plus mod of E. That is the number of vertex plus number of edges. Then completeness. Here we are saying depth first search is a complete, but if because of it is going to depth, if looping is if we fix, we not able to fix the loop, means we are in this case we are we have chance to looping, means we are not able to visit all the nodes, so in that case it is not complete. Okay, but in brief first search we visit all the nodes till we get until we get the solution, so that is a complete. But this is depth first search is not complete because uh, we because if the loop is occur, then we not able to visit all the nodes. Or here if node is present at the second, means level 1, but here we are considering the depth, we are processing depth wise, as we moving for the depth, then it will take time to reach that node, means not that much effective for this. Now consider the graph application, that is a topological sorting. The topological sort of a directed acyclic graph, that is DAG, of graph G is defined as a linear ordering of its nodes, in which each node comes before all the nodes to which it has the outbound edges. Every DAG, that is a directed acyclic graph, has one or more number of topological sorts. A topological sort of a DAG of graph G is an ordering of the vertices of graph G such that if G contain an edge UV, means edge from vertex U to vertex V, then U appears before V. This is what order. If edge U to V, then U is the first and V is the next. In simple word, a topological ordering of a DAG, that is a directed acyclic graph G, is an ordering of its vertices such that any directed path in G traverses the vertices in an increasing order. Then topological sorting is widely used in scheduling applications, jobs and tasks. Here we have example. For this example, we can write topological sort A to B, here A to B, then means A, B, then C, D, E, and here we have A, B, after A, B we have C, then E, and then D. Like this we have to sort. For this, A to B, then B to C, then D, E, F, then A to B, then D, C, E, F, then A to B, D, C, F, E, in other case E, F, like this. Okay, for this we have A to B, then C, then F, then F we have, then E, D. Here we have list. Now topological sorting algorithm. The algorithm for the topological sort of the graph that has no cycle focuses on the selecting a node n which with the 0 in degree, means there is a not edge coming toward that node, there is a 0 in degree, that is a node that has no pre-tensor. The two main steps involved in the topological sort algorithm include the selecting node with 0 in degree is the first, that is a selecting node with 0 in degree, and second is a deleting n from the graph among with its edge. Now consider this example. Step 1, find the in degree, that is the in degree n of every node in graph G. Then step 2 is a include all the nodes with a 0 in degree. Step 3, repeat the 4th step and 5th step until Q is empty. Now consider 4th step, remove the front node n of a Q by setting front is a front plus 1, means next. Then step 5, repeat for each neighbor m for node n. Then in that we have this 2 step, that is delete the edge from n to m by setting in degree m equal to in degree m minus 1. And step second, if in degree m is 0, means there is a not edge present to coming toward that node, then in qm, that is add m to the rear of the q and end the inner loop, this loop, and end this outer loop and exit. This is a topological sorting algorithm. So here we complete the graph data structure. This is all for this lecture. Thank you.